Okay, decision made. I decided on the Western Wallace. I liked it. The camel was, I did toy with the camel quite a lot. It's a big model, it'll be lovely. I probably will build it, maybe I'll build it as well. One piece model, 36 inches, quite cumbersome, so really it could do detachable wings. Has a 36-inch biplane in one piece. I really haven't got anywhere to store it. If I can solve that problem, great, I'll whack it together, and I think I still, part of me kind of knows I'm probably going to build that. But let's start with Western Wallace, because it's a nice little aeroplane. I think it's a lot of detail on here. I'm going to really enjoy putting this together. It's really nice. It's slightly bigger than the Bristol Fighter. But yeah, I printed off all the plans full size. I printed off the camel full size as well, so I could see it and how big it, get a real sense of how big it really is. I had to download Adobe so that I could tile the printing, so I could print it off as a poster. It tiles it in such a way that it puts these marks on, so you can line things up. So I can trim these margins off to the marks, and I've used sellotape to stick the pieces together. I mean, I prepared the wings already. I used sellotape to stick them together, just tap them with 2 pieces of sellotape and then put a strip across. The wings don't line up very well. This is 3 sheets of paper here. This third one, the size isn't quite right, so I've lined it up on the trailing edge. Really, I need it just for the spacings. I'll sketch on the extra line or whatever. I can sort that out as I build it, so I just need to be aware of that. In terms of cutting out parts, I need to cut out this the centre spar. It's not a top and bottom spar, it's a central spar, one piece with notches cut into it. Hopefully it'll be alright if I cut the notches accurately. I want a nice friction fit on all the ribs, so I'm going to be careful about how I cut those, but that'll be okay. There's wing rib marks on here. I need 20 of these wing ribs. I'll make a template for that at some point when I'm cutting those out. A couple of short wing ribs in the centre. Deviation from a plan. I'm going to try and build it as per plan, but where the dihedral brake is, I'll probably add a rib there just to enable those wings to be stuck together. Otherwise it's a bit awkward having a dihedral brake where the wing changes angle with just a single rib. So there might be a small deviation to plan there. That's the wing, that's how big it is. It's 18 inches I think, which is a couple of inches bigger than the Bristol Fighter. Just for sense, that's a Bristol Fighter there, quite small. So this is going to be a slightly chunky model. Let's pop it up there out of the way. Yeah, I'm just going to quickly prepare the plan for the fuselage. I start with the wings together. I don't tend to build the wings first. I tend to build the fuselage first. But I put these things together because it gives me the wing plan. But I've got an outline there for the fuselage, so I'll actually build off of there first. So there's a keel to put down for that form dictates the shape of the fuselage. Then there's half formers that are going to go on in these positions: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what I need to start building is this outline, and I need the formers, which are on another piece of paper, so I need to prepare that. And this one's mostly for reference. I'll need this drawing to build off for the tail fin. This is the page that's got the formers on. Fortunately it fits in the centre of the page, so I don't have to stick all these sheets together to make one single plan. I'm just going to use the individual pieces of paper as required. I can cut these out of sellotape and I'll stick those on. Not cut them out of sellotape, what am I talking about? I'm going to cut those out with scissors and I'll actually place those on the balsa wood and cut directly over the formers to get the shapes, but you'll see that later. Yeah, I mean, the good thing about printing off your plans like this is you don't have to worry about messing your plan up. If I'd bought the kit, it would have been supplied with a one-piece plan. I'd be trying to protect the plan. I'd be probably photocopying sections of it as required rather than build off the original plan, because I do like to keep plans intact. But as this is just printed off the internet, I'm not too worried about butchering the plan. So in terms of sticking that together for reference, mostly for the detail, it's just a case of trimming off at the marks using sellotape to connect those two pieces together. So if I can find my sharp knife, I'll just use a straight edge there to trim that nicely, exactly on the markings, of course. There we go. 2 pieces of paper, 1 fuselage. Line up their marks perfectly. Really, I want to use some kind of reference line to make sure it is actually lined up. So there's a nice straight line across the top of that fuselage. If I line it up with my ruler, I know that that's correct. Sometimes the printing gets a bit distorted from one sheet to another. That's looking pretty good. That's rough enough, Rich. So I'll just tack that together with 2 little bits of sellotape. One there, one there. Got an expert of a sellotape after Christmas. Plenty of practice. Right, just trying to check that that's still straight because I've wobbled it somewhere. That's looking good. So I do like to secure that. Be careful not to stretch the tape because otherwise all sorts of strange things happen. There we go. Trim that off, and that's the fuselage outline sorted. But I'm not going to build off of that. This is really just a reference, this sheet. I will need the tail plane. Use a ruler just to get a guide for that knife. Get rid of that. Done. But yeah, that's nice. That's a lovely fuselage. Looking forward to building that. I need to kind of get the top of that filling. That's on another sheet somewhere. So basically, I've got my outline, I've got my formers, I've got my wing. This is basically gonna be my initial build sheet. So I've got my outline for the fuselage there. The parts are actually as drawn on there. So I need to cut out these keel pieces. To be honest, I might laminate this bottom keel rather than 2 pieces. These are fairly straight, C1, C2, C3, C4. I reckon I'll laminate the bottom keel. Don't tell the judges because that's a deviation from the plan, but they won't be able to see that. So I won't make a big deal of that. But yeah, the wing outline, we've got the trailing edge W1, W7, that's nice straight pieces there. There's a few bits and pieces to form the shape of this part of the wing, but yeah, biggest problem here is the fact that these spars don't line up, but I'll have to be aware of that. The wing rib is shown here, so I'll build a ply template for that. I've got to cut 20 of those out, and then there's 4 little stubby wing ribs that need to be chopped out. Fine. Like I say, I'll add a rib here where the dihedral brake is. I think there's another little deviation from the plan. Having a dihedral brake here with just 1 rib, yeah, it's not too clever. I think I'll probably add a second rib in there so that I can just give you something to attach the tissue to later on. But yeah, it's exciting. So let's get building, cutting parts out.
As I rise from golden slumbers to my own mortality, and I won't take you with me to my long tranquility.